Asheville's police chief has talked about major reforms, but one thing not discussed is body cam footage and the protections police have from releasing it. The only reason the public finally got to see what former APD officer Chris Hickman did to civilian Johnny Rush was because the footage was anonymously leaked.
These body cameras are there for a good reason. They're for accountability.
Yet North Carolina's law clearly states the video is not a public record.
Body cam footage is an accurate, authentic account of police doing policing behaviors.
Brooks Fuller runs the state's Open Government Coalition.
This is the best record we have that police are treating citizens fairly.
Yet, but for some exceptions that include allowing relatives in a case to view it, the public must go to a court and convince a judge that there's a compelling public interest.
And I think that needs to be flipped. Law enforcement should have to make a compelling argument why the video should be held confidential.
A state like California, for instance, they are required to release the video in 45 days after it's requested.
I do think it is something that needs to be talked about.
State Representative Susan Fisher, who's up for her 9th term, said she'd like to revisit the law.
At least to make it a little bit less onerous for people to get hold of camera footage.
Open records experts say law enforcement in cases do have legitimate reasons to withhold release, but with calls for transparency and accountability, footage taken on equipment paid for by taxpayers remains largely sealed from the public eye.
Local hospitals like Mission continue to prepare for a surge in COVID-19 patients, but they say they're ready. Outside Mission Hospital on this Thursday afternoon, things seem to be quiet, but inside it's different. Medical staff still hard at work treating COVID-19 patients.
We are not out of the woods, and to see people walking around without their masks in place gives me great pause.
Dr. William Hathaway serves as Chief Medical Officer for Mission. He says for the first 4 to 6 weeks of the pandemic, they only saw a very limited number of cases.
We were averaging, I would say, between 2 and 6 in-house across our health system. Most of those, of course, were at Mission versus our smaller hospitals.
Recently, that's changed.
Now, we're at about, I would say, between 16 and 22 on a given day in-house at Mission Hospital.
Health officials say that surge due to a number of things. Outbreaks at Buncombe County nursing homes affecting residents, staff, and their families. The opening of the local economy, more people getting tested, and most recently, protests.
Common sense and logic, what we know about how the illness is transmitted, tells us that we're likely to see an increase.
Even though it seems like we're moving back to normal, this is not normal, and we need to continue to use those preventive measures to stay safe.
Outside of Buncombe County, hospitals like Pardee are also seeing a slight increase. At last check, they have 5 COVID hospitalizations. Advent Health reporting none right now.
As people get exposed and develop symptoms, it's going to hopefully encourage them to get tested.
And health officials say they're ready for whatever happens.
Earlier this week, the state announced guidance for public schools to resume in-person instruction this fall. As you just heard, state leaders say that they will determine an exact plan based on the state's COVID situation by July the 1st. We reached out to local school districts for an update. A spokesperson for Buncombe County Schools tells us a plan probably won't be finalized until later this month, since they're still waiting for further guidance from the state. And as for Asheville City Schools, a spokesperson there says the district is busy preparing for the beginning of the 2021 school year, but they are anxiously awaiting further guidance from state officials.
A Madison County mom is putting together a private prom. Shaylin Bias has 3 children who attend Madison High School.
She says the private prom idea came about after her kids asked if she could throw a small prom for them. Bias says that she has 25 children that are coming to the private prom, and they've all signed COVID-19 waivers.
Some parents are upset about her decision to throw this prom, but she says she is a pediatric nurse and is taking proper precautions to make sure those attending the prom are safe.
I will do everything in my ability to protect these students.
Bias is now holding the prom in Tennessee. She says they will have temperature checks set up before kids come in. All of the tables will be 6 feet apart. Hand sanitizer, face coverings, and washing stations will also be available.